Okay, excellent. So now we're back. I don't, when did you stop recording or when did it stop?
Well, I started the meeting, 15 minutes early, and it started recording automatically. So I turned it off and then forgot to turn it
Oh,
on. My
okay.
apologies. Apologies.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I could give a real synopsis, a recap of what's happened so far. Those people that are listening to this recording, we approved the June board meeting minutes. We approved the 2026 state convention meeting minutes. The treasurer gave her report, and we set the time for the board to meet as a work session to determine how we can achieve our 2026, 27 goals. We're going to do that on Tuesday, the 21st at 7 p.m. via Zoom, via work session. And then we appointed the bylaws committee of Jeff Orrock, Keith Laube, Daniel Lutz, and also to that committee, the Douglas County appointed Karen Ann Harlos, and Arapahoe County appointed Corey Robertson, and the board appointed Keith Laube as chair. And then we just appointed the platform committee of Wayne Harlos and Bennett Rutledge and Nick Sawwark. Sean Vadney was already previously appointed by Douglas County. And since none of those people are here, we're going to select the chair at the August meeting. So that's the recap of what happened so far. We are up to
Mr. Chair, there's a question.
I have a quick question. Janet.
yes, Janet, go ahead.
Okay. On that meeting that's coming up next week, is that board exclusive or can anybody input?
Well, it's really a work session, so we're not making any decisions. So it doesn't. I guess we have to put the link on our board meeting on the website. I mean, we can do that. I don't know. What's the board think about that? Do we want other people to attend our work session?
Personally, I'd like to see it board only myself.
It-
It'll go faster.
yeah, I mean, the input of our members are always important, but I guess they can. I mean, this isn't something that's set in stone. We're coming with ideas, and then we can put that back to the membership, know what we're doing. If other people have other ideas, they're always welcome to contact a board member. So I think that's the way we're going to go, Janet. We'll just be board members at this work session. All right. So the next item is a transfer of funds to the federal account, and I sent out an action item on this due to the previous board spending some of the federal funds for state activities. We need to fulfill or refill the federal account. And since we just got through the state convention, all those dollars have, people donating and paying all the bills. We got that squared away, so we know where we sit financially. Now the new board has been in control now for, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 9 months. We pretty much know our monthly expenses. So I outlined the best I could, and I think we could make probably about approximately a $7,000 transfer from the state account to the federal account. And our working rules or our board rules are we should always keep a certain percent, which is roughly a little under $3,000 in the state account. And so my proposal is, I think I'd put 7,000. I say transfer up to, I don't know how many more donations we're going to get in the next week here or what we've got recently, but my proposal is to transfer up to 9,000 from the state account to the federal account, so that on the date of the transfer, there is at least $3,000 remaining in the state account, plus funds to pay for any authorized expenditures. Do I have a second?
Can I just jump in quick
Well,
before
we'll have
a
a
second?
second. We'll have a second, then we'll do a discussion. I always do
Okay,
it the wrong
I'll
way.
second.
Okay, thanks. Now, Allison, go ahead.
On a prior board meeting, I can't remember which month it is, we also voted to reimburse this federal account with a portion of our donations. I can't remember if it was 15, 20, or 25. In my
20%.
report, what's that?
20%.
Okay, so 20% of the Q2 donations is about $1,400.
Mhm.
So my question is, do we want to include that in the amount you're referring to? Because if we transfer 9 and then another 14, we may be short on funds.
Yeah, my vision on this is you're going to do the 14 or 1390, whatever it is, and then you have to do some math so we have at least 3,000. So it's not going to be 9,000 because it might be 6,000, it might be 7,000. You just have to do the math and then
Okay,
keep at least 3,000, and then we have some authorized expenses already. You have to keep funds back for those too.
all right. So if we keep 3,000 and we pay the 1,400, I'm just doing some envelope math. That's about 7,600 to transfer.
Yeah, it's somewhere in the 7,000 ballpark number. Yeah, for my calculations, and you're the treasurer, so you have the exact numbers, right?
I could
I'd like
post
to
my
see
file
that.
with the exact
But-
numbers.
But I wanted to say up to 9,000, just because whenever you do this next week or 2 weeks from now, there might be other funds that come in or contributions, I don't know, or membership. So that gives you some flexibility.
I would prefer this to be an exact 7,000 if we know that we have that much. And we can transfer more next month because we're doing campaigns. There will be some expenses, hopefully, for campaigns and such. So $3,000 may not be quite enough. We'll know more in August.
Betty Rose, are they, the campaigns you're referring to, are they federal or state or both?
Well, we have candidates in all of them. So I don't know what our expenses will run. We may not have any at all, but I would like to keep a small cushion. I would just like to, if I'm voting on something, I would like it to be an amount certain. And 7,000 sounded like it was not gonna hurt us.
And if I may, Chief, the idea that you and Doug hatched with those door hangers. If that becomes more successful than you anticipate, I'd like to make sure we can fund that as well.
Yeah, okay. So I'm okay with saying just it's 7,000. If that's what I can amend my motion to transfer 7,000. Then it's a set dollar amount.
I second the amendment.
Okay.
It was
Mr.
already
Chair.
seconded by Allison.
That was the main motion. So the amendment is 7,000. So I guess this is Robert Rules thing I love. So let's take a vote on the amendment of exactly 7,000. Any objections to exactly 7,000?
Just not an objection per se, Keith. I just want to clarify for the board. Since we have the 12,345 in the bank right now, if we transfer 7 and then we transfer an additional 14 for the quarterly amounts, we'll be left with $4,000.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Al.
Joe, did you say something?
I just said thank you, Allison.
Oh, okay. All right. Super. All right. So any objections to making exactly 7,000 the motion? All right. So hearing none, the amendment passes. So is there any more discussion on this item?
Yes, I object to this. I think we should remain as liquid as possible, and I move to postpone this motion until the November board meeting.
Until the November board meeting?
That's right.
Out of
I don't
order.
see
Sorry.
what the rush is. We're not gonna be paying it off for quite a while, and I think we should stay as liquid as possible during the next 3 months when we're in campaign season. And then when the dust settles and we have our election night party, then we can show up to the board meeting in November and put a big lump into the FEC account at that point.
Okay. So any other comments or discussion on this item?
Well,
So-
this is a subsidiary motion, so I need a second.
Second.
Thank you.
And if you read Karen Ann's note, you cannot postpone past a quarterly time period. Per Roberts.
You cannot do what, Robin?
You cannot postpone past a quarterly time period.
Except that
Oh.
what we're doing is saying that we're not gonna vote on this and that we will vote on it at some future point.
Hang on.
So in other words, it's not so much a postponement, or Jeff's arguing against the motion.
Well, then I guess I have to move to postpone indefinitely. I didn't want to do
Or not
that.
necessarily, you can just argue against this, if it doesn't pass, then it didn't pass, and then if it ever comes up again, you can argue against it again. In other words, you don't have to set it in the date, you just argue against this.
So she says, correct, we need to vote it down or postpone indefinitely and then renew in November.
So in essence, say vote no, it's essentially postponing it or never bringing it up again.
I suppose so.
Okay, so
All right.
so we have an objection, so we're gonna have to take a vote. That's how I'm reading this, understanding this.
Yeah.
So is he, is he,
Question.
yes,
Of Jeff, would you be happy with a smaller amount, or would you just like, no?
We're doing a smaller amount. We're doing a quarterly amount. And I think that's enough. And there's the quarterly amount and then there's a percentage of donations. So actually there's two small amounts that are going in. Is that correct, Allison?
Sorry, I heard my name, but you're very quiet on my
Well,
speaker.
I guess there's some confusion as to how, like, we're doing a quarterly amount. We've already passed that motion, and then we're doing a percentage of donations. And are those things overlapping or are those two things separate?
Well, that's what I was bringing up when Keith was talking about his motion. So the quarter, you did say two things and they seem to me to be the same exact thing, not overlapping. So we have set up where every quarter we will reimburse the federal account with 20% of our quarterly contributions.
Okay.
Separate
all right.
from that, Keith is requesting not quarterly, maybe he'll do it quarterly, I don't know, but he is requesting now to transfer an additional set of funds.
Yeah, all right, so,
That's what we told.
yeah, so I think we're fine with the quarterly payments. And if
That-
we want to do a lump sum, we should do it when we're not in the middle of a campaign season. Here.
so the quarter we passed, last meeting or 2 meetings ago, so that's a done deal. The thing is, we're sitting with $12,000 or 15,000, well, it was 15,000 a few weeks ago. We are, we have these liabilities. We have this federal account liability of 26,000. We have $9,200 of liability with the Secretary of State. And so we need to get this wrapped up as soon as we can. And I don't like all this money sitting here because someone's going to find a reason to spend it and we need to make ourselves full. Also, I want to send a letter to the Secretary of State and say, can you waive some of these penalty fees from 4 years ago? The last 4 years, we've had no penalties. All our reports have been timely. But if I submit that letter tomorrow, they know our June filing, we had 15 or whatever $1,000 in the bank account. They haven't sent to waive that if we have the cash. Being a small party, that's just a lot of money to be sitting there when we have obligations. I mean, that money needs to go to the federal account or needs to go to the Secretary of State's office. We should not be, and this has been going on for 4 years. We've been spending it on things and not paying our debts off or whatever's owed, I guess, our obligation. So that's where I'm coming from.
Jacob, ask a comment.
I guess, because I proxy for board, so I understand the only, I guess, what I would say is. Like, yeah, at some point you need to pay it back, but this is not a debt owed because we did business or because of anything like that. One, also, the federal bank account should be paid back so you can use that money. That being said, from lots of people I've talked to, the FEC has investigated that situation. And at this time, if they were going to come after any money or a fine, they would have done it at this point. I don't think there's enough. I don't think if and maybe there was inappropriate stuff. I wasn't on the board at that time, so there may have been. I think the FEC from my understanding, would have dealt with that probably at some point. But with Tracer and the Secretary of State, the practical argument I would make is there is no consequences to having that debt with the Secretary of State whatsoever. It doesn't incur once the report is filed, the fines don't increase. And the second, what I would say is if, in this, I'll make the annoying principal stance because everyone likes being principal, you are then giving money to an organization that it has proven by Janet Griswold's own employees have conducted inappropriate business, thus putting everyone, including the party, at a disadvantage. And you're just giving money to the state, but ultimately working against the people's interests. So while it may need to be paid off, I don't know, I kind of would agree with Jeff. There isn't really any rush to give the state money. They're getting plenty of money out there.
Yeah, what I want to do, Jacobs, I want to put that in front of the committee that reviews this at the state. And I want to put us in the best light so we can get that zeroed out, basically. Because otherwise, we're the party of principle, and then we have, anybody can look up, or that could be public knowledge. It is public knowledge that we have outstanding fees that we neglected to do for 4 years or pay. And so,
yeah, and the Republicans and Democrats have thousands and thousands of dollars.
And
most people don't. Regular voters aren't going to pay attention.
So I'm going to send this. If we don't approve this, I'm going to send a letter out tomorrow, and then they say, well, you got cash, then pay it. Then we're stuck with $9,200 on our account forever. I want to give us the best picture when we send that letter to the Secretary of State. And the federal account, I don't have any inroads to the FEC. I don't know anybody on the FEC. I don't, those people could do whatever they want whenever they want. That's my opinion. And I, as a chair, I'm not going to put my name out there and say, well, we're not going to fill this back that we spent. It was obviously spent on state stuff. It should not have been. That was the last board. They should have been reprimanded, but it's going to come out someday. And we can't just be pushing this down the road anymore. I'm pretty strong about this.
So pocket to your own pocket. So that absolutely should be paid back. I just mean in terms of talking to someone who deals with them in Washington. If the FEC is going to come after you for fines, they usually do it pretty quickly. That was his point, is because he made the joke to me that you libertarians talk about government inefficiency, but the FEC is pretty efficient about collecting money from people.
I don't think anybody's at the FEC for last year. I think they canned them all. So anyway,
I would just to jump in.
Allison.
It's not just the FEC; it's the state of Colorado too, because we violated. I mean, we're on a recorded meeting talking about how we broke laws. Just to put that out there, but not we, but the state of Colorado came at us over the limit donation from over a year ago. So I do know the state of Colorado at a minimum is a year behind on things. So it is both the state and FEC, and the state is slow. But I'm hearing both sides. I think both sides of the quote unquote argument are valid. Keith, it's been out there for 4 years. Can we hold on for a little longer and just get through another 2 months of campaigns and see what happens?
Yeah. Well, this goes down to their philosophy. As a party, we're going to hand out money to candidates that we really don't have. And that just rubs me wrong. If we had the money, I'm okay with that. But this money, really, we need to find out where it needs to go. And I don't want to keep pushing this can down the road. Do we actually owe $9,200? Are they going to waive it? And the federal funds, we need to fill that. And then it can be used by federal candidates. And so it's really not, that money is just getting to a different pot and for a different use. And so we need to clean our house up, because the last board were a bunch of kids in a candy shop. They spent money and they did things they should not have done. And we've gone now 9 months and we haven't done anything. We've filled some of the federal account. We haven't done anything with the state fines. And so I want to clear this up, and we just can't keep pushing this off. That's just bad. That's just bad business practice to me.
It seems like there's never. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. What if someone puts a list together of the candidates and how much you're hoping we can give them for our next board meeting? Because right now, I see both sides, and Keith acknowledging your argument just now as well. But But if we're not giving anything away, that argument is moot. So what if we just put something together so we know what we're actually looking at here?
From what I've seen, the way boards operate and with the current cash and revenue, there's never a good time. I mean, there's never a great time to do this. I think 2028 is a great time to spend a lot of money. But until then, I think we should do our best to get these obligations paid down. So I'd support putting as much as possible back into the federal account and paying as much, and hopefully that will help us get the debt to the state, the fines to the state taken care of.
Yeah, again, would you be happier with a smaller amount?
That's hundreds of dollars when we owe many thousands. I don't think it's enough.
There's been a few comments made in the chat. I don't know if you want to review any of those. They're not board members, so.
Yeah, I think we'll keep this at the board level at this
Okay.
point. Any other discussion by board members? Okay. Well, I guess we'll take a vote.
But point of information, so Allison, are you suggesting that we postpone this to the August meeting?
You asking Allison?
Yes,
But
she's the one who brought it up, like. It kind of sort of sounded like she might have been moving to postpone this until next month.
I was kind of requesting someone put some data together, which would mean moving it, but if we're not going to do that, then there's not really a point.
okay. So we'll take a vote. The motion was to transfer $7,000 from the state account to the federal account. All those in favor, do you want to do roll call, Robin? Yeah.
Okay,
Mr. Chair, for information, real quick, I'm so sorry, I just want to clarify something. With the $7,000 transfer, the vote is doing that, and then also you filing for the waiver, correct? For the-
Yes, yeah. So basically, the next filing period is July. Was through July 27th. We file on August 3rd. So on August 4th, I can send the letter to them, and then usually they meet about every 2 weeks. This committee. So by mid to late August, we'll know what their ruling is on the fees.
Thank you.
Okay, go ahead, Robin.
do you want to, I was gonna ask, I don't remember what I was gonna ask you. Never mind. So the vote is yes to transfer the $7,000, no. What is the no vote?
No means we do not transfer
We
$7,000.
do not transfer, there's no change.
Can I motion for an amendment or something, whatever the procedures are?
Go ahead.
Can we transfer 5,000 instead of 7? A little compromise.
Okay, so Allison made an amendment to transfer 5,000 instead of 7,000. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, second by any discussion on this change of amount? Okay, any objections to the change? Okay, hearing none, the motion has been amended to transfer 5,000 from the state account to the federal account. Okay. So a yes vote means transfer 5,000, a no vote means don't transfer anything.
Okay,
We're
so
ready
Keith,
ready for a vote. I vote yes.
okay, Doug,
Yes.
I'll vote yes. Allison,
Yes.
Betty Rose,
No,
I didn't hear you, what?
No,
Okay. Jeff,
No,
Janet,
Yes.
John,
No.
and Joe,
Yes.
and Jacob for Ross.
No.
Okay, and did I get everybody? Okay, so you have 6-4.
So it passes.
Okay.
So it'll be, Allison, you can take care of that when you, sometime in the next, before the July 27th.
I'll probably do it during this meeting.
Okay. Or at least before then, so it gets cleared before the 27th. Okay, thank you. The next item is door hanger reimbursement and future purchases, Doug Jones.
All right, so we went out on a limb and purchased some door hangers. We got 1,500 for 300 and some dollar, $350. My proposal is and the door hangers, I sent out the images of those just before the meeting, so I apologize they're not in the board packet. But they basically list the candidates for a given congressional district on one side, and on the other side say, thank you for being a registered libertarian. And this is how you can get in touch with your local affiliate, if there is one. Or this might be like in Montrose County, the name of a person, or in that congressional district, the name of a person that you could contact. And also, I believe 1776 Club QR code is on there, and QR code for making a donation. And so my proposal is to reimburse me those $350 and to appropriate 1,200. Let's see. To appropriate. Where's my number? 1,500. Looking at the wrong thing. My apologies.
And my apologies, I put his action item in there, but for some reason the second page didn't show up, and this is what the door hanger looks like.
Show the other side.
The candidates, and then, ooh, let me see. That's not a very good picture. Sorry. I don't know how to make that look good. Okay.
No.
And just hold it still. I think it'll focus.
Okay, I'll sit still.
Nope, you're not a face. I mean, it's not a face. Anyway, to propose, I propose up to $1,000 for approximately 4,000 additional door hangers. And this will be, it should, I think, count toward our contacting registered libertarians. And it'll get people connected with local affiliates, hopefully, build the 1776 Club, and drive interest and involvement in campaigns, and give candidates a meaningful handout for their door knocking activities, and hopefully boost our vote totals in the end. It'd be a great get out the vote thing. Anyway, the risks being, and these are important, it doesn't guarantee delivery. We'll need to find and motivate the affiliates and candidates to hand deliver these. And Jeff has been fantastic about providing lists of registered libertarians to do so. Keeping track of who has received a door hanger and not is going to be up to probably an affiliate or campaign, and that's going to be tough to keep track of exactly, so we know who to contact, of the remaining 10,000 we want to contact. This will only touch 5,500 of the 10,000 person goal, and we'll need additional activities to meet that goal. There it is. So my motion is, I move approval of up to $1,350, which includes $350 reimbursement for the purchase of door hangers printed with candidate, affiliate, and contribution information to be distributed by candidates and others by Election Day 2026. Any not distributed, by the way, will be wasted. And
Point of information. Is this intended for all 8 congressional districts? Or just the 2 that you've mentioned in your action item?
right, to be negotiated with the affiliates and candidates. So there may not be an affiliate or a meaningful candidate in a given area. I don't know, but would need buy-in from the candidate before we purchase those. Say if there were a candidate in a place where we don't have affiliates, well, then would have to negotiate with that candidate to see if they were willing to get these out. If not, of course, we wouldn't buy any for that congressional district.
A friendly amendment, maybe. I don't want to see those go out the night before the election. So could we have a different date certain?
Sure. I mean, what do you suggest?
Within a week of mail-in ballots being mailed?
Like a week before, here, like to have those arrive before the mail-in ballots arrive.
Before,
No.
I think they need to go out before.
Before the mail-in ballots?
I
You
think
may
so.
want to make they arrive like just before the mail-in ballots,
Or
just
by the
after
date.
they.
By the date the mail-in ballots are mailed and are received. I don't know what that date is. Do you know, Jeff?
I think ballots it'll be mid-October. I don't know the exact date.
I'll figure it out later.
But let's just assume it's like the 15th of October. So, I think that definitely increases the risk.
I think October 20th is the day the ballots will arrive, and I don't know if this anecdote matters for the primary trend. Once the day of the election came, maybe like 4 or 5% of the voters actually voted on election day. Most people seem to drop off their ballot before the day of the actual election. But I don't know if that's going to be the same as Jeff. That's just what happened with the primary.
But we don't want to wait till the week before either. We're already starting to pass them out.
Right, so, I would like to say that the candidates or the affiliates guarantee that the door hangers will go out by no later than October 20th.
Agreed.
That reasonable?
I think it's being that I haven't seen anyone's ground game, I have no idea of knowing who we can count on. And I think waiting until the very last minute to drop door hangers is a really bad idea.
Yeah, I'll add something, Doug. I think I'll second this if nobody's second his motion, but I think 2 parts of this. I mean, we Doug and I went out and Robin and Julie, we put out 100, we knocked 100 doors, or roughly 90 some doors this past weekend, but we didn't do the flyers until late Friday night. So we didn't, Fridays, we did some 65. We didn't have the door hangers. We just had Doug's cards, but it takes time. You can maybe 10 or 15 an hour because libertarians don't, I mean, they live like one on a block. Sometimes you get a couple together, but so it takes a little bit of time. And so the way I see this rolling out is someone has to come and say, as a candidate, I could do 100 of these, or I can do 250 of these. And if the idea is to do it by congressional district because information is the same for all those cards. So if you got 2 or 3 candidates in one congressional district, they say, oh, I can do 100. You could order 300 cards and that's all you do. And then they're obligated to put this out. I don't know I talked to some candidates this weekend. I didn't get a lot of, I mean, I know Janice said she'd go. I talked to a few others like, yeah, I could do that, but they hadn't done door knocking before. And so I respect, we have to be cautious about what we're doing. We're not going to order 2,000 of these and then sit in a box. And so I think we really have to look at what affiliates and candidates are really going to seriously go door to door. And I think Doug's maximum out, we're not going to hit that, but I hope we would. But at least we're putting a carrot out there for candidates. So here's something you can do along with your own flyer. You can put this out for the party and knocking on the libertarian doors. Those are the candidates might get donations from those folks. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on this.
Mr. Chair, if I may. I think we're barking up the wrong tree with this whole argument. I don't see this as a get out the vote. I don't see this as an effective get out the vote. I see this as an effective volunteer gathering for candidates, which means we do it now. We don't wait for October.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think you get on it now, and I think by September, we won't be doing this anymore, quite frankly. Our get out the vote effort's gonna need to be by mass texts, mass emails, phone calls, etc. The value I see in this is getting volunteers for our candidates
And donations.
and donations.
Right. I figure at 10 an hour, I'm going to do 723, which are all the libertarians in my house district. And that's so that's 70 hours between now and the deadline. And I'm going to do that. But I don't know about anybody
we've got
else.
we've got a couple volunteers.
Yes, I've already got a couple,
Mhm.
Robin.
Are you walking or driving?
Driving and getting out and going because yeah, the houses are so far apart. I mean, they're like blocks apart. There's not
Yeah.
that many libertarians. So
There's an average of 10 per precinct, and that's, only a urban precinct would be, worthwhile. So yeah, I mean, I just wanted to get a sense for, so you've already got some metrics that it takes, you can do 10 in an
So-
hour by drive.
yeah, we probably did a total of 4.5 hours, right? Keith and Doug, 4.5 hours about, and knocked on 90 doors. Something like
Two
that.
teams.
With 2 teams,
So you-
yeah, 2 teams of people. So then you're talking 9 hours.
So that's 10 an
10
hour.
an
We're trying to have a conversation with people.
I have a quick suggestion in terms of that, in terms of who you may want to target first. With the voter file that Jeff has, he was in Ross's district, and I think for CDA he did as well. He was able to pull, or maybe the Secretary of State updates that, I'm not sure, but it lists the libertarians in there that voted in the primary. You may want to target that because, and I have no evidence to back this up, but I would assume if they vote in the primary, they're somewhat active, they may be more inclined to get active, so you may want to hit up those libertarians first.
Yeah, and we got that information on our the thing we printed out on Civi. It tells who voted.
Excellent.
And just an interesting sidebar, you don't have to avoid all the houses in between. We do have door hangers. They're just general door hangers for the Libertarian Party. John found a tub of them and he gave me a stack of 250 and I hung them in one day on my morning's walk. So,
Oh,
you know,
awesome.
you can hit the houses in between the Libertarians if you want.
At least the
Actually,
independent, right? Or the non-affiliated.
It is helpful to be in as shape as Joe Johnson if you want to knock doors because,
How do you think you get in that shape?
yeah, because if you don't knock for 8 hours at a time, it's
So can we rehear the motion with the amendment? Did the amendment pass? Did we change it? Was it a friendly amendment that was accepted?
Yes, what was that date certain that we wanted? Was that
We
October
originally
15th?
said ballots arrive October 20th, but then the discussion we said needs to be done sooner than that.
before? Yeah, before that.
We don't need to be sitting on these, yes.
I can read the original motion. if you'd like, and we can add that. I move approval of up to $1,350, which includes $349.21 reimbursement for the purchase of door hangers printed with candidate, affiliate, and contribution information to be distributed by candidates and others by Election Day 2026, and the amendment is by
October
October
15th.
October 15th.
Okay,
So how did that amendment get adopted?
Oh, good point.
Asking him if it's a friendly amendment, he can take it. If he wishes.
So Doug, did you accept that as a friendly amendment?
I do.
what is a friendly amendment? There's no
It
such
means we don't
thing.
have to vote on it.
Yeah, it's bullshit. There's no such thing as a friendly amendment. You either amend, or you don't.
Well, by accepting, he's essentially changing his motion.
So we have an
What?
amendment for October 15th. Is there a second for the amendment?
Whatever, all I know is that official government meetings, we accept friendly amendments, so we don't have to waste time arguing over whether we can save time or not, but go ahead.
Well,
So we'll do it by the
brought up.
So
Robert
Doug
rules.
made the motion, I'll second it.
Okay. Any objections to the amendment to make it by October 15th?
I object.
Okay. Let's take a vote on it. Rob, you want to do a roll call? This is for the amendment to change it to have them distribute by October 15th.
This is just for the amendment?
Yes.
Excuse me, one quick question. Distributed by October 15th, meaning that on October 16th, if we still have some in our pocket, we have to throw them in the trash?
No.
Like, as I said, I think we're barking up the wrong tree on this whole thing. We pick a date when we stop buying them. But I mean, we're not gonna stop distributing them if we still have them.
I think the commitment, well, maybe Doug, you want to word that. So the person wants the door hangers have to make a verbal commitment. They're going to get them distributed by October 15th. That they can do that.
Point of information, how long does it take to get the door hangers delivered from the printer?
About a week.
Longer. 2 weeks if unless you want to pay for expedited shipment.
Was it that long?
Are the door hangers that have yet to be purchased, are those designed? Are they just gonna be a rehash of the same door hangers? Or are they gonna be new door hangers with new information?
They'll have information specific to that congressional district.
All right, so so it seems like you really need to get your participants lined up so that you know what information to put on the door hangers so that you can send it to the printer so that you can get them back. So it sounds like it may take the rest of the month to get those door hangers in place.
Which is why any deadline should be deadline on ordering them.
And so I really think that sooner rather than later, to echo Joe's point, and so I want to see a deadline where, the commitments are made and the information is ready and received so that everything's ready to go by the 1st of August. And I want to see a commitment by the activist teams to have it done by the 1st of September. So I think you set a date for mid-October and you know what's going to happen. Everyone, the day before mid-October is going to be like, oh,
Exactly.
I guess I'll go and do store hangers now. So it really needs to be, like Joe said, as soon as possible. So all the commitments need to be lined up by the end of the month, and then the door hangers need to be delivered in total by the end of August.
Get up the vote, why not do a text message? Do it cheaper.
Well, this is more of a
I agree with Jeff on that. It's not like we couldn't come back in August and went, holy crap, this is more successful than we ever thought. Do we have a motion to order more? I say, let's just get this thing started, get moving. So we make the motion to order them and we can come back and revisit it at the next meeting if it's more successful than we thought. You don't have to worry about deadlines.
Right. The motion is only for the appropriation. Okay. So,
Right.
and it's an up to that amount appropriation. And that I would leave that up to the board to find those commitments, make the proper decisions.
Okay, so yeah, we can go in circles. We gotta settle this up. So,
Jim, how are you measuring the success of these door?
so
If
I'm
you
just
do that
gonna
after the fact.
yeah. Sorry, Jen. So,
Uh,
Doug, would you just want to make a motion to get reimbursed for what you did so far? And if other people want to do something, they come back to the board and get funding for it.
No,
I don't know. I don't know if other
No.
candidates, what other districts want to do anything. It sounds like
won't-
nobody's on board.
it won't wait a month.
But you have what you
Everybody-
need. I
everybody
have what I
agrees.
need.
Well,
Everybody
I know
agrees that
Daniel
you
Lutz
agree.
and his group are on board. They're in the
Yeah.
chat and they are totally on board.
Yeah. So,
And I
so
think
we're-
once it's introduced to other people, they'll be on board too. We just don't have those people in this meeting to say, yay, hey, I want
Yeah.
to be in that.
And so we're trying to make a whole bunch of rules about something that, leave it to Joe or Doug's discretion. If people come forward, hey, I've got volunteers, we're going to put out 200 of these, we'll make 200 of them. We don't need to set a bunch of dates and rules about, well, if they don't do this, and it's on a verbal thing anyway, we can't hold them to anything anyway. So
Once again,
let's
we're the
take a
party
vote
of
on this. I mean, Doug, I think Doug's initial motion is appropriate. Let's take a vote on it. Do you want to read your motion again? Your initial motion? You're muted,
You're on
Doug.
mute, Doug.
I move approval of up to $1,350, which includes $349.21 reimbursement for the purchase of door hangers printed with candidate, affiliate, and contribution information to be distributed by candidates and others by Election Day 2026.
Okay. So we had a motion. I second that. And so let's we'll do a roll call vote, Secretary.
Wait,
Do we have any
Was it amended?
objections?
Well, we're gonna do a roll call vote because I'm not gonna go through all that again.
Okay, so Keith, yes or no?
Yes.
Doug,
Yes,
Allison,
Yes.
I'm a yes. Jeff,
Yes.
Betty Rose,
Yes,
John Jersman,
Yes.
Jacob,
Yes.
Janet,
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
I believe
Right.
that's everybody.
Thank you.
It's unanimous.
Excellent. So the
Just
next,
a fun fact on that one, we can allocate, I'm just looking at the flyer now. We can allocate 10% of this cost to the federal account since there's federal candidates on there.
Ah,
excellent.
that's great.
we keep that as our reimbursement.
Well, we can pay the federal to the state account if we spend $13.50, let's say $135.
No. Yeah,
Okay.
thanks, Allison. That's you're always thinking about that. That's good. The next new business item was a discussion about affiliate information. We're running out of time tonight. I just asked the affiliates we have some issues with our website. You go to the affiliates, join an affiliate, and you really don't get much information. So I don't know if anybody else is aware of this. You used to be able to go to an affiliate, but then the information was wrong. And so I guess we can do that outside of media, I think, to figure out there's some connection links or something missing there. I don't know.
Okay, and I can look at that. I'll reach out to the affiliates and try to get that
Yeah.
information updated.
It sort of changed about 2 weeks ago. So anyway, we're going to go to board announcements. We did have an email vote.
We had an agenda item added discussion for.
Oh,
Aris-
geez. Yes. Sorry. Go ahead, Betty Rose.
I would like to hear from Jacob and Joe about the Aristotle thing, because I feel like we've gotten money in that the campaigns people have raised, and I would like to see some of that money at least earmarked for buying the data. So that, first of all, we can prove to people that we are actually using the money appropriately, so that hopefully they will donate more. So, is that proposal ready?
Yes and no. I emailed out to the board. I was hoping to have paper copies for everybody here present tonight, but my computer is it can beat me at chess, but it's no challenge for me in kickboxing. Could not get it to print. And so you got an electronic copy. It's a 10,000-foot view. Essentially, we set a goal as a party at our work session that we are going to reach out to all of our members. That is impossible with our current budget if we're going to use US mail. It's possible if we do telephone, texting, or emails, but we have approximately 50% contact information. So in order for us to achieve that goal, we need data. There's data companies that can get us all of that information. Additionally, we need data and information for our candidates to be successful. So I put a 10,000-foot view proposal together. We can discuss this online over the course of the next several days. If it's something the board wants to continue moving in the direction of, then I will put put more thorough information into that proposal, send it out with costs, the comparisons between different companies, et cetera, for moving forward. In the interest of brevity for tonight, please just read that email. Jacob, who has been doing the lion's share of the bird dogging on this project, is here tonight, so he can add some to that. But again, I'd like you guys to get a chance to read the proposal as it stands now, which again, doesn't have a lot of detail. It has what the goal is and where we want to go. And the beauty of it is because the data is going to be used by congressional candidates as I see it, as I read the law for those candidates. And once we buy that from that company, we own it, which means that then we can use it with our other candidates. We can use it for the party to reach out to our members, et cetera. So again, that the proposal's out there. If Jacob wants to add anything to it, again, if it's something the board wants to move in that direction, I will get more detail into that proposal for you within the next few days.
I have a question. I have a copy of that here, and I see a lot of a breakdown of what it's gonna
Okay,
cost.
that's the one that Jacob did. I sent one out tonight. You probably didn't get it yet. That's
Yeah,
the
Joe
We
has one
didn't,
that's-
we didn't receive that. I told Jacob I needed that by yesterday in order for the board to review it before tonight.
Yeah, that's just out. We're not asking for a vote tonight. That's what I say. Didn't get sent out till today. Like I said, technology and it's a cage match. So, again, you have a 10,000-foot view proposal, no voting tonight. Please read that over. We'll discuss this online. And again, it's something we all agree that we need to move in that general direction. I'll get you more details. And we
I
can
would-
take a vote at a later time.
I would request a possible e-ballot on this proposal, because if we kick
Timing.
this, yes, if we kick this down the road, it's not gonna be useful to us, although my understanding is it's gonna be a commitment over the next 3 years, so
Yes,
it'll go through this election and the next election.
Well, and the most important part of it is, again, as I'm reading the election campaign financing laws, we can fund this from our federal account. But we can only do that if we do it during this election cycle. Otherwise, we're gonna wait 2 years. So,
well, not necessarily, but we'd have to make sure then we'd have congressional candidates that soon after the election are then on file running again in 2 years.
right, so yeah, we have to be recruiting. Right now, we have 8 congressional candidates, and so now is the time to do this. So yes, I apologize for not mentioning that. As Betty Rose mentioned, I would like us to, if we're gonna do this, to be able to vote online to move forward.
I have bad news for you, because when I click on your link, I get a proposal
A
for
template.
North Peak Digital.
Okay. Yeah, that's what happened when I attempted to print it. It made me download it and I wiped it. But Jacob, you got
This
the
is
correct one.
somebody else's
No, I
proposal.
opened it here and it just, it gave me a template.
I gotta type it all up again. So, yeah, again, my computer, my printer are going to die. I spent 8 hours putting that
I was
proposal
gonna say,
together.
if you write it on like a notepad on your phone, I could put it on a,
8 hours I put that proposal together today, and then I attempted to print it.
Okay, we gotta keep moving along here. Is there any other, any questions for Joe or any other discussion on this item?
Yes.
Go ahead, John.
What exactly are we gonna gain from this if we don't already have?
50% of our names that we have no contact information besides an address. So unless somebody comes up with about 100 grand for the mailing of letters, we can't communicate with our members. That's on the party side. On the other side, for campaigns, etc., there's all kinds of detail we can find out. I'll let Jacob go into some of the detail on this. We can literally find out whether this unaffiliated voter is likely to flip and vote a different way based upon his past voting records. They literally keep all that stuff. We can find like literally everything. Currently, when I'm recruiting for candidates, I can't recruit district attorneys and attorney generals because I don't know who our attorneys are, but I know who all our attorneys are. I can't recruit coroners because I don't know who our doctors are. I now know who our doctors are.
I was gonna say-
this information is deep and
Yeah,
broad.
if someone has made a public donation or anything that way would have to have publicly given their occupation. You can look up people, you can target, now it's meant to target voters, but theoretically we could target people, for just that, if you know. Like if we're looking, if we can pull the information of occupations from the libertarians if we wanted to and say to add to the list of emails and stuff. Hey, I want you to add their occupation if they're a lawyer or a judge or a whatchamacallit.
Thank you.
And there's more to it than that, but again,
Okay.
it's interesting.
Yeah, in sort of time here. So we can talk about that even maybe during our strategy session next week. Is there any other new business items that were added that I didn't write down? Okay, so we're moving on to board announcements. Jody Barr did get nominated as state treasurer by our email vote. This Saturday, 2 to 5, David Aiken celebration of life at the Independence Institute. Anybody want to put a plug in for that? Any other information you want to share?
There'll be light refreshments at the David Atkin thing. Jeff, do we have the room starting at 1 o'clock to set up?
Yes.
So if anybody wants to help us set up, come early.
I have a lot of David, memorabilia and stuff.
Are you bringing it or?
I'm gonna be in Grand Junction, but I can give it to you.
Okay, do you have?
House.
Oh, okay,
Bring it to you.
okay. Great, sounds good.
Okay. And then yeah, the same weekend we have a Tanner Gun Show in Grand Junction, which John will be coming out.
Yes.
I'll be there. Mark Matoni will be there, and hopefully get a few more people. Member announcement or
One other
board
item.
announcement. Jeff had a website announcement. Jeff.
Updated.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip that in the interest of time so that, Mr. Lutz and his candidate and also, Mrs. Harlos can address the board. How much time do you two guys need?
Well, I don't need any because the only thing I was going to speak in was public comment at the end. Mr. Hardman, how much time would you need to address the board?
I would literally love a third floor elevator pitch.
Okay. Shall we go to Mr. Hardman now, Jeff?
Yeah.
Okay, Chris, go ahead.
I just want to make sure that we leave enough time open for everyone to speak. And since we only have 9 minutes left, I guess I move to extend time 15 minutes past 9.
Second.
Okay, any objections to extending time? All right. Well, I'm going to go to Mr. Hardman. He's been patiently waiting. So go ahead. Give us your elevator speech.
Standing. First, Betty Rose, Robin, Jacob, I'd like to personally thank you so much for donating to my campaign. My name is Christopher Hardman. I am up here in wonderful Clear Creek County, Colorado. The sun is slightly setting, unlike you guys who already has it set. And I am running against the Democrat. The GOP has decided not to run a candidate against me. And I've already reached out to them about speaking at one of their public meetings. We hosted a small community town hall meeting about a couple of community topics out here. I'm going to be attending a couple of community topics that are coming up in the near future. And I would just like to beg. Beg is a good term. Beg for money. Jacob was able to give us some money from a campaign, and then it was discovered, hey, you can't do that. So we had to send that money back. So I believe we have $46 in our bank account right now. So if I could get any money from the state, I would very much appreciate it. Again, Betty Rose and Robin already gave us a donation. I really very much appreciate that. Jacob says he's going to give a donation personally upcoming, and I appreciate that. So if any of you would like to give a personal donation, because our financial coffers are not all that great, I'd appreciate that. So anything that you guys can offer me, I will gladly take. And there's not going to be any, oh, well, you only gave $5. Thank you so much for that $5. I very much appreciate it. That's my whole spiel.
Thank
We
you.
made
Thank
it
you,
to the
Vernon.
fourth floor. I apologize.
Can you give us a website or something? We don't have a link on our
So my website is currently being set up, but it will be teamhardman.com. Again, teamhardman.com. HARD as in David, MAN.
Okay. So how can people donate tonight or tomorrow? Or how do other people donate?
So Daniel will text all of you
okay.
a QR code to raise the money. And they are doing all of our accountability for donations. Look at that. Good job, Daniel. Thank you so much. It is posted in the comments right now. And, hopefully we can crush that opponent of ours, and we can have the Libertarian as the county commissioner come November 4th.
Can you tell me how much of your website is done? Anything?
So Jason Bailey is working on my website currently. And we've got all the framework up, and we're just negotiating over hey, I don't like how that's worded, or, to that effect. So I'm assuming today is Monday night. I'm assuming by Wednesday evening, it'll be live.
Let me know so I can make sure that is on the website, a link to your website.
Outstanding. Thank you so much, Robin. I very much appreciate that.
All right. Well, thank you.
What is the maximum that a person can donate to your campaign?
$1,428. Is that correct, Daniel?
$1,465.
Oh, I was off by a little bit. It got dark here quick. Let me turn on a light.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions for Mr. Hardman? Okay. Did you have an announcement? What announcements do we have left here? I lost track.
We didn't have any on the agenda. It was just kind of whoever wanted to speak.
Any other member announcements? Otherwise, Jeff, you have the floor then.
Karen Ann has announcement.
Oh, Karen Ann has.
No, I don't have an announcement. I'm waiting for public comment.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, Karen Ann. Give us your announcement.
I don't have an announcement. I have public comment.
Oh, okay. Jeff, you have an announcement?
No, I wanted to reserve time to make sure that public comment could be made.
Okay. So we'll go to public comment. Karen Ann, you have the floor.
And I hope you'll indulge me with slightly a bit more time, because I've got a list. First of all, I wanted to extend my sympathies to Betty Rose Ryan for the loss of her husband. I'm also going to encourage the board to put public comment at the beginning. If members raise a legitimate concern, the board does not have opportunity to add that to new business. We feel like an afterthought, and that's just never been the way this board runs. Also, now that the board is more mature and used to each other, I'm very concerned about the lack of transparency. We don't get to see the email votes. We don't get to see the email discussions. It doesn't seem like members are really being solicited for things that they care about. So I really encourage you guys in your planning session to plan for that. Few years ago, we were the most transparent party in the country. That got lost with a former board. I encourage you all to get it back. This next one's going to be a little bit longer. I know a lot of people thought I was, not you guys, but a past board, thought I was the girl who cried wolf, but right now the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire has been disaffiliated for, wait for it, endorsing a candidate other than our official candidate for office. And guess who they brought up and asked why they're not getting disaffiliated? The Libertarian Party of Colorado. And I sent in an amicus saying how we've reformed our ways. But that is on the radar. And the board should really consider a resolution getting ahead of it before the LNC starts looking at us saying that this is something that has been completely changed. And this board absolutely and utterly repudiates that action. But for everyone who thought I was just talking shit that this would never happen, well, go talk to the people in New Hampshire, because it has in fact happened to them. And you're welcome for me providing a defense to Colorado, to the Judicial Committee, as to why we are a different situation. Also, this goes back to transparency. The convention meeting minutes, maybe the board has seen them, but in the past it's been posted on a transparent email list so that members could potentially make corrections to the convention minutes. You guys have approved them, and no members who are actually there have seen them. Lastly, I would encourage you, I know I disagree with Daniel here, on paying off that debt. We do need to set an example. And, there was very questionable amount of funds brought in through that disaffiliable offense of getting into bed with RFK Jr. And perhaps some of that money could be used for good by paying off debt due to misdeeds of multiple treasurers ago. Certainly not Allison. And also, to be honest with the board, I'm pretty relieved that I didn't get selected for more responsibility, because I just remembered what a pain in the butt it is to provide a bylaws committee report. But I would encourage board in the future, when there are contested seats, that you actually let the candidates speak to their nominations, because to be honest with you, it seemed like a popularity contest and not qualifications. Though I have to tell you, I'm glad I didn't get it at this point, because I'm now kicking myself for even volunteering. But for the future, please let people speak to their qualifications, because that was just a really bad look. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen Ann. Good points. All right. So any other?
Daniel.
You had something, your hands up. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead, Daniel.
Thank you. So I'm going to echo a little bit of what Karen Ann said. We need to include, not just move, no, include. There needs to be a public comment at the beginning of the meeting and at the end. That used to be the way it was done. Public comment needs to be at the beginning, because any pending business, you need to know what the membership is thinking before you all debate and vote on it. And as Karen Ann again pointed out, when public comment only happens at the end, we feel like an afterthought. We don't get to comment on anything that's coming up. I'm also going to echo, I would like to see the email list brought back to the public. It has been 2 years and 4 months since anything has been posted on there. And it's really depressing to continuously go there and see no new updates, no new information, and no new business being done on the list.
What do you mean go to? You said you're going to somewhere. What, to the website?
Yes, the website, the XCOM Committee Communications tab, just below board records.
Okay.
The transparency does need to return to this party. There does not need to be any votes happening via email until we, the members, can see these emails. And I realize that may hamstring some stuff, but as Keith said earlier about the vote to pay back the state, he's not going to look at what the members are saying before he's only going to listen to the board. Well, in this instance, the membership we need to be heard. We need to feel like we're involved in this again. This board was elected to change things back to the way they were when things were going better, not to continue the failed policies of the previous board. It was said earlier that, you know, the problems that we're facing were brought about by other people. Well, we asked you all a lot to reprimand them, to censor them, to do something, and we kept getting told no. So I don't ever want to hear again, it was the old board, you know, someone should have reprimanded them. We asked you to do that. It never got done. Now, we're way past that. Okay. Reprimanding them now ain't going to do any good. What we need to do is start rebuilding this party from the bottom up. We need to focus on our local races. We need to focus on our local candidates and re-recruiting members. We've got a lot of good people out there, but it seems like there's no communication from the lower end to the board and back. There's no line of communication. I know I personally have tried to give updates regularly and stuff like that. And I'll be honest, I usually just get my head bitten off for trying to stay up to date with people. So it's getting very, very difficult as a member, as a volunteer, and as a donor to continue this slog. I want to see my money go to candidates. I want to see my money go to affiliate support. I realize we got to pay off that state debt, but that was not our debt. So we do not have to hamstring ourselves in order to pay that off if we've already got a plan to pay it off. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel. Any other comments from anybody?
Just very quickly, Mr. Chair,
Yeah,
if
go ahead.
Robin or someone is curious, because I saw some lost looks about the transparent email list, because you guys really weren't around for that. I understand that you don't know what I mean.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, offline, because I still have the link to the old transparent email list, and I can put you in touch with someone at National that says how they work it out with Microsoft and having a reflector list. But get with me offline, and I'd be more than willing to work with you guys on that, because I did see some lost expressions, and it's hard to ask you to do something if you don't know really what we're talking about.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else for the good of the cause? I have 9:04. A motion to adjourn. Any objections? We are adjourned. See you next Tuesday. Thanks, everyone.